07, turn right, heading 185, reduce speed 180 knots.
185 on the heading, 180 on the Takeoff Air 007.
Speedbird 124, reduce speed 160 knots to 40 me.
Reduce 160 to 4, speed 124.
Hello there guys, Matt here, hope you're all well and welcome back to something that I have been waiting to do for an absolute decade. Thanks to Fly Tampa, this video is now completely possible, and I don't mean that they're sponsoring me or anything like that, it's completely rubbish. If you follow the Fly Tampa scenery development, you will know that they have just released Sydney, and it is absolutely incredible. And what I've wanted to do for the longest time, and I've never done it because I cannot stand to fly long haul where the end result is really bad default scenery, is fly down to Sydney from London. And the only way to do that, well actually no, there's a few ways you could do that, but the way that I wanted to and have wanted to for the longest time is via Singapore. And that is what we're doing today. This is part 1, this is Speedbird 15. Part 2 will also be Speedbird 15, and it routes Heathrow to Singapore, then Singapore down to Sydney. We're in the 777, the PMDG 777-300ER. This is Golf Sierra Tango Bravo Hotel, one of, I don't know how many 300s they have, but I am unbelievably excited to do this flight. It's a long flight, this one. The first sector is about 12 hours. And then onwards from the first sector to the second sector is 6 hours and 50, well I think it was like 6 hours 55 minutes, something like that. So I'm going to split it into two parts. The first part is going to be this one, Speedbird 15 to Singapore. The second part is also going to be Speedbird 15 down to Sydney. They use the same call sign, and then Speedbird 16 coming back. I won't be doing the return, I'll just be going down as far as Sydney. So, fingers crossed you enjoy this. It's currently approaching just gone 9 o'clock PM UK time, and this is scheduled to depart at 20:35 Zulu, so 9:35 UK time. So I have about 30 minutes to prep, get everything underway, and get out of here. Thankfully, Heathrow are using easterlies today, so we're departing from 09 right, which is just over that way somewhere. So we don't have a really long taxi down to the 27s, which is up that end of the field. So we should be good for an on-time departure. I've loaded everything as far as payload and fuel goes. We're taking just over 110 tons of fuel, and that gives us enough flying time for just over 13 hours, and this is 12 hours, so we've got about an hour extra. And zero fuel weight today, for those of you who are interested, is 212 tons, which it doesn't actually give me the passenger count for some reason, but well, make your own mind up. I guess 343 maybe? I don't know, there's no passenger count. But anyway, we're pretty heavy. It's going to be a long night. I remember when I did Speedbird 28 and that completely drained me, but I absolutely loved it. So yeah, let's do this. Speedbird 15, Heathrow, Singapore, Sydney. Okay, current time 2014 Zulu, means we have about 15 minutes to get set up and out of here. I am capable of doing that, thankfully, so let's get this show on the road. First thing, ADIRU can go to on. From that, we can go and make sure the lights are on, which they are. The seatbelt signs can go to on, because we're done fueling. And we can go down to the FMCs and set those up. So, we have a company route today. We are on the ground at Heathrow, and we're on stand 545, Terminal 5 ABC, I think it is, 5C. And we want the GPS position, which is here. So we'll grab that, we'll go to route, and we'll request the London Heathrow Singapore route here, which is that one. We'll request that, and that will do its thing and not take very long at all. See, we've got the doors open, entry 2 left, entry 5 left, and all the cargo stuff's open at the moment. Hopefully that shouldn't take too long though to come through. So the request is sent, there we go. So we can load that request in, and then we can start filling in the blanks. So We're departing from runway 09 right, so once that's completed and everything disappears, we can put that in. There we go. So departing from 09 right, and the flight number, as I said before, speedbird 15. Depart arrived, depart 09 right, we're on the Detling departure, so Detling 1 Juliet, and we can stick that in. We can activate that from now. Copy that just in case something goes wrong, and then we can check through everything to make sure that everything is in as it should be. Our last waypoint is Arama into Singapore. Next step, accept the init ref page, 0 fuel weight. Well, we can request this perf stuff, and hopefully it'll give us the right thing, because I have the flight plan on the right of me, so I need to cross check that. But we are cruising initially at flight level 310. That may put 230 in, I'm not sure. Or it may even put 290 in. Let's hope not. Oh, there you go. It did 310, so that's actually all correct. We can accept that and go to the thrust limit page. We are derating only to 40 tonight, with flap 15 apparently. So we use flap 15. CG goes in, and our takeoff gross weight is 321. Which goes in there, we'll take those numbers. So 176 MCP speed is what we need to bug. We'll set the runway heading 092. Block altitude 6,000 feet. Left flight director and right flight director can go on. We can also arm LNAV and VNAV. Next page, VNAV page, 6,000 feet is the transition altitude. That's 600 feet. And then we can go to the legs page, and we can just make sure that all the step climbs are in, which I'm just looking at now on the right of me. So we're 310 initially, and then after that we're climbing up to 330 at a place called Dinro, so we need to find that. Scrolling through 22 pages of legs. 330, let's just reinforce that. 330, and that's a step there. And then after Dinro, we are climbing to flight level 350 at Rana, which will be on one of the other pages. I just went past it. There we go. 350S at Rana, and that can go in there. What's after Rana? 350, 350, 350, 370 at Nikir, which I'm assuming will be a couple of pages on. There it is. 370S at Nikir. And then what's left? Anything higher than that? No, that's us all the way to Singapore. We can grab some of the wind data. So if I look at the wind report, let's have a look at this. Looking for some sort of wind segment on the plan. Does not want to give it me. It is there somewhere. Winds, winds, winds. Ah, okay. So we want to find Conan, which is here, route data, like this, and we want to go 290, and then we want to go 310, and then 330, and 350. Please stop saying enable X'd out, I'll fix that in a minute. And then at Conan, we are looking to be, let's see, flight level 310, and the temperature at flight level 310 is minus something. These flight plans sometimes are really difficult to read. Minus 53, there you go, whoops. Minus 53. And that can go in there. And then we can go execute, route data, wind data request, and we can request that. I'll update the winds further down the way once we're in the air, but just to save some time, because it's currently 20 past, which means we've got 15 minutes to get out of here. What I do want to do actually is just turn the transponder on and see if I can see anyone on the ILS, because I think I saw some traffic on VATSIM. So I'll set that up now. There we go. Wind data's in, we can load that. And there we go, everything is good. And we can also do the descent forecast as a sort of preliminary input if you want. We can do forecast and then load that. I don't know what the transition altitude is or level is at Singapore. I think it's like 130 or something, but I'll get on that on the charts when we get a little bit closer. Okay, so looking at that now, 15.5 tons remaining, 6,130 miles, landing in about 12 hours. Sorted. Okay, so everything's good. We'll leave it on the takeoff ref page. We'll go to the other FMC and we'll stick that on the legs page, and then we'll go to the third one, which is down here, and we'll just stick that on the doors for now, just so I can open the catering doors for them, which I would imagine they are actually here. Let me have a look. Where are they? Are they in place? I don't think I can see from here. Maybe not. Let me just kind of glitch out the window and have a look. Nope, they're still not here. Fair enough. Baggage unloading apparently is complete. Okay, so we can run through some checklists. We'll actually fix the other side, so we'll turn on the traffic. We'll right click the needles, and we want data and terrain on the right. I'll take weather on my side. Weather can be turbulence as well. We'll set the transponder to 2000. Sadly there's no ATC at the moment, and everything else is good, so we'll pull up the checklist. Pre-flight oxygen, I don't really test that, so we just ignore that. Flight instruments are set, showing normal indications on both sides. They match, good. Parking brake is set, and that's a pre-flight checklist completed. We can go to the before start checklist. So the flight deck door is not simulated, so we can knock that off. MCP is complete. You can see 176, 090 runway heading, 6,000 feet rock altitude. Takeoff speeds are in the FMC here, and also will be on the speed tape. CDU pre-flight's done, trim is set at the moment at 0, and taxi and takeoff briefing, the joys of being a lonely pilot. I do not need to do one because I know where I'm going. So we're just waiting on the beacon on that, and the catering. I'm not quite sure what the catering is doing. Yeah, I think I'll just reset GSX and call it back, and we'll get pushed back and out of here. So I'll stick the beacon light on now. Actually, I need to do it, not click it. There we go. Beacon lights on now, and then the next one should be before taxi. So we'll get the door page up, make sure we've closed all the doors. So we'll arm that, we'll close that, we'll close that. And we want to prepare for pushback and departure. We want to go nose left for 09 right. I just disarmed the wrong door. Close, close. Need to reclose that, arm that, arm that. Parking brake is on. We'll stick on the fuel pumps, and we will fire up the APU. Put the packs on too. We need to close that, arm that, and arm that. Next page, we need to close the cargo stuff, which is done, and then we are on ground connections to get rid of the external stuff when everything is ready. So, emergency lights, we'll just clear all the memos. We can just wait on the hydraulics. Is there any fuel in the center? Of course there is. Yeah, there is. 47 tons in the center. Brake source is okay. Doors, still waiting on that last one, which is just shut. So the doors are ready. We are ready. Beacon's on. Parking brake is set. APU, we're still waiting on, but that'll be online soon. And actually I think the APU is on now. Let me change the page here to check what's going on. So we have good hydraulic pressures. APU is just reaching 100% now, so there we go, APU running, excellent. So we can get rid of the external power. I can go. We can also get rid of the chocks and everything underneath us. And we can go back to the engine page for engine start. So GSX now should be locking the gear. That should be something we should hear very soon. And we can remove the jetway. There's two of them here. So one in the distance that needs removing. And let me just make sure we're on Unicom 122.8, which we are. So set. We've got 10 minutes to go, and we're just pushing back. Life is good. We'll pressurise on the pushback, so parking brake released. And what I'll actually do is I will right click that. We can start monitoring the time. Okay, engine number 2 to start. N2 is rising. Oh, of course, auto brake. Whoops. N2 is rising, and M1 is coming online too. Just waiting for the fuel flow to increase. I'm going to turn the weather radar on now. We'll push back from the gate. Fuel flow's good now. That sound. There's engine 2. Now for engine 1. M2 and then 1, waiting for the fuel flow. Auto start doing its thing. Positive fuel flow. And welcome online, engine number 1. Nice night out, isn't it? Looking good. Actually, I still the logo on now. It's getting a bit dark. We might have to put some form of panel lighting on soon. Although there's a little bit on now, but it's going to get dark pretty damn quick. Okay, that's both engines started. We can bring up the flight control page now, because that's the thing we'll be doing next. Once the pushback's complete. We can also ditch the APU. That's done its job. Almost complete with the pushback. And while it's pushing us back, I will set the trim to 6 units. So it's at 4 at the moment. 4, 7, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 7, and 6. And the parking brake is set. Okay, so flaps 15, 1, 5, 15, and we can do a flight control check. So full left and full right, all the way back, all the way forward, just one motion all the way, full left rudder and full right rudder. Job is a good one. GSX is just unlocking the gear. We can blind the marshaller, the marshaller, whatever he's called, the ground guy, with the lights. And let's taxi out to 090 right. Nothing else going on at the moment on the aerodrome, or airfield, whatever you want to call it. Bring the checklist up. Now we can do the after start or before taxi. Anti-ice is not required. Recall, we can do that now. It's checked. And auto brake set, flight controls are set, and ground equipment is just about to become clear. So that's the checklist complete. And the before takeoff checklist is also done, but we'll come back to that later. Okay, we'll just wait for GSX to disappear. And we have 5 minutes until we should be away. British Airways, if you're watching this, you can hire me. I'm all about efficiency, and yeah, there you go. 5 minutes to spare and we're taxiing already. Okay, GSX is on its way out. Come on, you can walk faster than that. Even I can walk faster than that. I'm going to release the parking brakes and apply a bit of power, because I know it's going to drive off in the opposite direction. Please move out the way. Like, why did it need to walk all the way around the back? And now it's driving towards me. Oh well, rip. So, relatively simple, all the way down to the end, right, all the way down to the end, done. Okay, so we're just crossing taxiway Bravo and turning right onto Alpha. Now, if the tail cam thing wasn't so laggy, I'd use it, but I refuse to, so we're just going to have to figure this out by ourselves. So let the nose run over the line a little bit. So, and then just let the tail kind of swing around. There we go, very nice. Oh look, some traffic on the ILS for 9 left, very nice. I don't know if we'll get to see those before we take off, but is it just one guy or is there anyone else? Oh, it's just one person. Okay, yeah, he's a bit far out, he's like 7 miles, so that's not happening. There's Terminal 5A. Terminal 5B. Oh look, there's an A320. Just, I don't know if he's taxiing in or out, but there's that. This is November 10. We're going to carry on until the end and go from there. That guy's 1900 feet. We may end up taking off as he is landing. That'll be pretty interesting. Anyway, so the before takeoff checklist is already done. That's the after takeoff checklist ready for us. And I think we are ready. So, runway's clear, approach path is clear, apart from the guy that's landing on 09 left, but it's no factor. So, let's get going. See what these G90s are made of. Okay, strobe lights. Landing lights on. Start the clock. Here is runway 09 right. Northern Glory.
09 right.
Wish the textures would load, that would be nice.
On runway 09 right.
Right. Let's get this show on the road. I think that guy's departing actually. But oh well, we beat him to it. Right. About 55% set. No asymmetry. Toga. With a 98.3% N1, which we have just achieved. Small wind from the left hand side, passing 100 knots. So we don't hit the tail. Positive rate, hit the brakes, gear up. It's not the right turn. Speed intervene, bring that down to flat 5. Push the nose forward. Flat 5. Lovely view of London in the evening, a bit misty. We'll fly this until 4,000 feet and then we'll clean up and continue the climb to flight level 310. Crossing 3,000 now. There's 4,000. Take the autopilot. Reset 310. Intervene that so that it clears the FMC restrictions. And we'll also push that in as well. Sync the heading up, 103. What a beautiful view of London. Flaps coming up now. We'll set standard pressure. We'll wait for the flaps up before we do the after takeoff checklist. And then that is us on our way to Singapore. Flaps are up. After takeoff checklist is completed. Well, well, well. 11 hours and 15 minutes later, we have just entered the Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia, FIR. And the weather is not great. It's really not. You can see, well, actually, it's just as soon as I hit record, it starts clearing up. But for the last maybe 300 or 400 miles, we have had, well, consistent and persistent thunderstorms and severe turbulence and everything else. It just doesn't seem to want to go away. We have a total of 420 odd miles left to run. We'll be landing at 0849 Zulu, which is actually, let me work this out. It could just start to turn nighttime in Singapore. We may see some sort of sunset. I'm not sure. We'll see. But we need to program some sort of arrival, which is always a start, I suppose. We are in via, let me just check the FMC. We are in via a place called Arama, and the wind is actually from the northeast, so I'm going to land on 02 left, I think, and we will be in via the BAW15 Alpha from Arama, and we can stick that in right there. So that is everything set up as far as that goes. We already did the descent winds. We can do them again now. We can request the winds now, and that'll put that in. I have the charts on my second screen. The transition altitude is 11,000 and the transition level is 130. So we'll put that in there. And the decision altitude for runway 02 left for us today is 230 feet. So we will need to put that in just a second. Just wait for those winds to load in. There we go. Perfect. Okay, back to the next page. So yeah, as I said, the decision altitude 230 feet. Just sync that heading now. We've turned right. So Barrow. Let's do it to the left. 260. 50. 40. 30. 230 feet, sorted. So, we have about another 40 minutes to run, I'd say, until we start our descent. Seatbelt signs, I've actually kept onto auto because of the turbulence, so they'll flick on and off as and when, I would imagine. But yeah, it's going well. Fuel is pretty much bang on what was predicted. We've got just under 17 tons at the moment remaining. We're going to land with 11.6. And yeah, not really much more to say. We'll be using auto brake number 2. I'm not going to set that just yet because we're a little bit far out, just in case things change. But yeah, 02 left is the landing runway. Everything else is set and checked. We just saw some weather then on the weather radar. I'm just waiting for that to populate again and see if there's anything we need to look at. We could deviate around it, but it's only a small patch, so we'll just ride it out and hopefully everything will be okay. It's a bit of a weird transition, isn't it? Starting the video at night and then all of a sudden we're in daytime. I hope that didn't hurt your eyes too much, but it certainly woke me up. So there's that. Anyway, I will talk to you once we've started the descent. Shouldn't be too long. Well, shouldn't be too long for you, because I'm just going to jump cut it. For me, I've got to wait 40 minutes. Hashtag virtual pilot's life. Okay, so we are well into the descent, just passing flight level 157. You can see there's some immaculate weather surrounding us. It's been like that, well, ever since I can remember really. Kind of northern Malaysia it started, and it's just never eased up. So unlucky if you live in Singapore today. Seems like you're having the best of the weather. Anyway, I put the landing weight in with the VREF. We'll be using flap 30, VREF of 140, and auto brake set to 2. What else did I do? I put some range rings in, some fixed rings in just over the airfield, so I can get an idea of how close we are to the runway or to the airfield. It's always useful to have them in. The thing is about this weather system, I mean, there's a lot of red on it. I'm just waiting for it to refresh so I can show you. There's a lot of red on it. There's this bit here that's in our way, but it's just so small. I don't know if it's worth trying to avoid it. I don't know if they would do that in real life or if they would just ride it out. If it was like a huge area of red or even pink or whatever color it goes when it's bad, then fair enough, but we're going to hit it right about now, to be honest, and I think it'll just be a bit turbulent. I don't think it's going to do anything overly dramatic. There was a point over northern Malaysia just as we step climbed where I figured that I'd made a wrong decision, and I flew through a cell or a weather cell that was just red, but it was red and then some sort of like pinkish purple color in the middle, and yeah, it bounced and bounced and bounced, and the wing was all over the place. So yeah, I mean, I'm not sure. I may need to consult some of my real-world contacts for that and see how they would deal with it. Because, you know, small red weather cells, I don't know. I just think it's a little bit pointless considering they'll only be flying through them for, what, circa 30 seconds? But now I say that and then this happens. Anyway, passing transition level, 1008 is set. And decision altitude's already in, 230 feet. Which means that, again, we are just ready. Of course, we can run through the checklist, which is the approach checklist first. Sorry, the descent checklist first. So let's head over there now. So, recall, we can check. Notes, whatever. Auto brake is set, landing data is also set, and approach briefing even is completed. So the next one is just the approach, which we can do now because we've already set the altimeters. 1008, 11.7, 1008, 11.7. They're done. Next thing for us is the landing checklist, so we can get rid of that for now. FMC is trying to tell us something. Not quite sure what. Oh, it wants some drag. Of course it does. Well, we don't really need drag, to be honest with you. I guess we could help it out a little bit. It doesn't need that much though, just a smidge of speed brake. That's probably the right thing to do here. It's just trying to slow us down, because we literally have this turn here to the left, and then it's to establish on 20 left, so I guess it just wants to bring the speed back. I don't know why it's flying. I mean, this is what I don't understand sometimes about the 777. Let me just go into the VNAV page. It's in the NG with me sometimes. Why is 220 the selected speed? And why is it defaulting to 240 below 10? Why is it not 250 below 10? Unless it's like hard-coded. Oh, it is actually. Forget I just said that. I didn't realize it was hard-coded into the procedure. So it's 220 all the way down to ADNIC, and then it slows to 170, and then you'll start getting configured from there. Miles to run, or 39 miles to the field, and now we've lost the profile for some reason on that left-hand turn. So I'll swap that over to that side, and we can give it a bit more braking per se. There we go. I still think we're far too far out to be slowing down this much though, but maybe that's just me. Anyway, we can profile down to 4,000 as well. We're going to go through some really nice weather very soon. And of course 10k brings on the landing lights, so left and right, and then the turn-offs can go on. yeah, we're done. Good stuff. I wonder if we can see Singapore. It'll appear off the left hand side somewhere. It's kind of over there. Water's nice though. Water's very nice. Nice shimmer. Oh, and then it's misty. Oh well. We had 5 minutes of it. I need to get that fix actually for the world cameras that someone released on VATSIM. Because look what we started here, yeah, right there. And for some reason, in our endeavours to fly around the world, we have now ended up there or there, which is very weird. So let me reset that camera view to so I can actually see forward. There, like so. Brilliant. Just approaching. Actually, we've been flying for 12 hours and 12 minutes. And what did the flight plan say? Let's see if how wrong it was. The flight plan said that we were going to fly for 12 hours and 23 minutes. So actually, we've got 10 minutes until we're supposedly landing. I think that's going to be about right, to be honest with you. It doesn't need the speed brake now. You can hear the engine slowly whining at me. Done. So we've got 4 miles or 3 miles to Bokip or Bokip, and then we'll be intercepting from Samko. Fingers crossed it's a greaser, because I've got to take this thing down to Sydney next. We're hoping for, well actually let's see. So landing into here at about 900 Zulu, 0900 Zulu, which is in what, 10 minutes time. And then it runs out to Sydney from 11:20 Zulu. So I have 2 hours and 20-minute break, and then a 6 hour and 55-minute flight down to Sydney. So that's pretty cool. I hope you've enjoyed it so far, because these flights, as much as, I mean, how do you say this? It's draining, it really is. It's super draining, because regardless of what you do in the cruise, be it sleep, be it work, be it whatever, you still have to check back and then, you know, reference things. Like, my biggest fear on flights like of this length is fuel. There's always some discrepancy with fuel, so over every waypoint you're cross-checking it with your flight plan to see if everything's okay, and normally it is, but you know, it's just that fear that you may be a little bit out and something may go disastrously wrong. But thankfully that's not happened yet. But yeah, next leg should be really, really fun. Although for the first maybe 5.5 hours, it's just pure sea. And I thought flights would just bring some, it hasn't, thank God. Yeah, it's just pure sea, and then once you get into Australia, it's a little bit nicer. I have the FTX Australia as well, so that should be pretty sweet. Anything else I need to say? Not that I can think of. All the radios are still on Unicom, there's no ATC, there's not even any traffic around. I guess I just picked the greatest time to do this, real time. You would think people would be around, but hey ho. Oh, we're landing into Australia as well at about 5 AM, something like that, their local time. Which means we should, well, the thing is, they're in winter at the moment, aren't they? So it may be a little bit dark. I'm not sure. I'm hoping it's just coming light as we start the descent into Australia, because that will be some awesome views, especially with the night lighting for Sydney, because it's phenomenal. I mean, there's even a shark. Can you believe that? They modelled a shark in the bay at Sydney, just chilling out, just swimming around. I don't understand why that's there, but it is. I might need to do a bit of research on, maybe that's like an endangered one or something, or maybe it's just sort of made itself at home and gets fed by the locals, as in eats the locals. Right, okay. Localizer, please. 17 or just under 18 miles to run at 4,500 feet, which just seems a little bit excessively low for 17 miles out, but I'm not going to complain. I'm just going to let it do its thing. Nice cloud in the way of everything. Thankfully we are instrument only at the moment, so it's all good. weather's cleared on the approach path, which is nice. And there's 15 miles to run. 224 knots. We still have 0 flap out, and we'll be remaining like that for a little while. See if I can get the approach thing up. Oh, okay, there we go. Is it gonna? No, it's not. Okay, so we can profile down. I don't know why I did that. I thought it was following it. We might have to start diving here. So with that, I'll put flap 1 down. Get a bit of drag out. Ah, I can already see the approach lights. Very nice. I can catch it up pretty fast though. That's no real concern of mine. Profile down to 2. Keep that descent going. And then we'll reduce the speed. There's the localizer. Just catching the glide now. We'll give it a bit of speed brake. There's the runway there, 02 left. That caught me up very, very quickly. I didn't realise it was going to do that. Well, that's fine. We got this. I'm just waiting for a glide slope to capture, which it's not doing. But we'll carry on anyway. So flat 5. See, it's reading 8 miles, and it doesn't look like it's 8 miles at all. We may have to go mist here and try that again. Okay, it's got the glide now. We'll start reducing the speed. Yeah, it doesn't matter about the auto land. We won't care about that. What's the limitation for flat 15? We can use flat 15 now, that's fine. And the mist approach is 4,000 feet. What's the limitation for flat 20? 225, good. 140, we'll do 150. We'll bring all the flaps out, flat 30. Last minute configuration. I don't think this is going to work, but we'll see.
Approaching 02 left.
Yeah, we're going to have to go mist, I think. Sadly. Oh well. Around we go. Just let it do its thing. Slow to respond, sadly. There we go. I'm not doing anything with the flaps or the gear just yet, just until we're out of that margin where it's gonna screw me. But there's flaps coming up. And gear up. Increase the speed now. Flaps 15. Flaps 5. And we'll fly it around at flaps 5, I think. We'll not bother with the entire missed approach procedure. We're just going to self-vector back around. So we'll do heading 300 to the left. And we'll loop ourselves back around. Yeah, that was really, really strange. My DME reading, usually when you're at 15 miles, 10, 15 miles, you've got a bag of room to play with. But apparently not right there. But oh well. Missed approach was executed. We're in the left-hand turn. All is fine. So I just need to reselect the approach, which is 02 left, and execute that. And then the landing speeds, the landing weight should be 220. So I guess that it miscalculated that slightly. So we can go for 141. Okay. Left turn. Gonna fly downwind. 200. Watch out for that weather. Yeah, that go-around mode was really weird. I'm not sure if you're meant to press that go-around mode and let it do it itself, or whether you should take it manually. It was, I was kind of hovering over the AP disconnect button to see if it was going to stall, because if you noticed, it brought the nose up and just sort of left it there without any sort of power input, which was very, very weird. So I'm not quite sure what's going on there. I think it would be a little bit more responsive in real life. Otherwise, you'd end up stalling out of the sky, and when all you want to do is go around. But what we'll do is we'll get configured nice and early this time, because this weather is atrocious. I should have really pre-planned this as opposed to just diving right into it. So we'll keep flat 5 down. We'll descend to 3,000 now. We'll flight level change it because we've got bags of room. And we'll try again. The speed brake is armed still. We'll leave it there. That's no problem. Checklist is still landing. We're just waiting on that. So we'll put that away. Some sort of stadium there. Nice. So now we're definitely behind schedule, but we've got 10 tons of fuel, so it's okay. We good. So that's a level at 3,000 feet. There we go. And we'll fly out until that 10-mile marker, and then we'll turn left, and then we'll establish from the 10-mile marker. Gives us plenty of room that way. I think that's the first go-around I've ever had to do on a video. So there we go. It's a shame it didn't work out a little bit better. Especially since we were in autopilot. But it was all self-inflicted. That's what happens when you don't plan. In real life, it probably got me the sack. But now it's about minimizing delay, so the quicker we can get down, the better. So we should have landed 2 minutes ago, or 1 minute ago. 12 hours 23 minutes was a lot of time, I think it was. Hang on, let me check that again. I might be wrong on that, actually. Oh yeah, 12 hours 23, so we're 2 minutes late. Not to worry. Right, so we'll turn left now to start that intercept turn. And we'll profile down to 2,000 feet. And we'll bring flat 15 out. Wow, that weather is really giving us a run for our money. Good stuff. Flat 15 is set, and then once we turn to establish, we'll take the gear. Now if we look at the plan mode, we should be, sorry, not plan, approach mode. Yeah, we're just coming below the glide.
Radio altimeter.
Good stuff. And we'll square off that heading. 110. Actually, to be honest, we could probably just carry that left turn all the way around to establish. I'll leave it for about another half a mile, then I'll turn. Actually, no, bad idea. Let's just carry on the turn. So 040 will be fine. We can do localizer on that heading. Don't know why it failed to stop at the right altitude there. There you go, localizer's in. Again. Might just sneak through it slightly, but it's okay. It's only very, very minimal. Right, okay, gear down. Take approach mode. Do flat 20. We'll start to slow all the way down. Do 150 with flap 30. Speed brake still armed. Auto brake set. Lights are on. This is looking a little bit better than last time. Okay, I'm happy with that. So, we can get rid of the autopilot, like so. And now I have control. He says as he dips below the glide. There we go. Bit of trim would be nice. Perfect. I don't know why I need to trim so much. It's really weird. There we go, that's better. You know, I was shocked to find that when I downloaded the scenery, this is VATSIM Singapore, and it's only 64 meg. What the hell? The entire place is 64 meg. Weird.
1,000.
Right, here we go. What I do need to do though, really quickly, before we do anything else, is set that missed approach altitude to 4,000. There we go, done.
Approaching 02 left.
Looking good. I had a tailwind for some reason.
500.
Interesting. It's only 6 knots, so I can deal with that.
Plus 100. Decision made.
Landing.
$100. 50. 30. 20. 10.
A little bit of left rudder, and we're down. Nice derotation. For some reason the auto brakes have disconnected, so there's that. Oh no, they're back on again. Oh no, now they're off again, so I have to use diff brakes. Which means the brakes are going to be quite hot now. There's 60 knots, reverses it. And here we are. Welcome to Singapore. Yeah, those brakes are going to be mad hot. I just know it. Gear. Oh, actually, no, never mind. They're okay. They survived that. I don't know why the auto brake disarmed on touchdown. That was really weird. I may have tapped my toe brake by accident as I tried to swing the rudder in. Right, so let's clean up. Speed brake's coming in. Turn the flight directors off. Turn the lights off. On that one. No, turn us can stay off taxi, and strobe can come off. Get rid of don't need a weather radar anymore. we go. Singapore, Singapore, Singapore. No idea where they actually park. I probably should have checked that out before I landed here. But considering there's nobody here, I'm just going to pick anywhere. Transponder can go off as well. We can look at the checklist for that, which does not exist. So that can go away. And should we just turn that up 1 or 2? Just to get rid of that. Cam memo. There we go. Okay, so to continue my bout of being realistic, I decided to actually look up the gate. Apparently they landed and parked on Charlie 22, so I have no idea where that is, even though I have charts up. No, I do know where it is, but I'm just going to pretend I don't know where it is and call a marshal or a follow me car, which is here. So we're going to follow this guy to Charlie 22, which sadly is right in front of us, but I mean, it looks fun, right? The actual gate itself is just there. So yeah, Charlie 22 is apparently what it arrived on and departed from, which is where we will be starting the next leg to Sydney. So everything is cleaned up. The APU's on now. This camera view thing really is annoying, actually. I might get that fixed before I do the Sydney leg. I've got a few hours to kill. We're a little bit behind schedule, but only by like 5 or 6 minutes, so I'm not too worried about that. And we can turn off taxi lights. And we can turn on to stand. And the marshal is stood in the wrong position. But okay. That car needs to move out of the way. Where he's going. Oh, GSX with its numbers above its head. I think the Afghan's a little bit wrong here, but it's fine. I'm following these lights, not the guy that's trying to marshal me. 3, 2, 1, that'll do. Parking brake set, even though we're minus 18.5 to the left, but that's okay. Right, we can shut down the engines. All the lights are off. The beacon light can go off now, and we can turn the seatbelt signs off. And just like that, as I was turning the beacon light off, I accidentally right-clicked and P3D crashed, which is something that apparently I don't know how to fix. Anyway, there we go. We made it all the way Heathrow to Singapore, 12 hours and 30 minutes thereabouts. Speedbird 15 part 1 is in the bag. In part 2, we'll be flying down to Singapore. No, we won't. Yeah. In part 2, we'll be flying down to Sydney. Again as Speedbird 15, so that should be out within the next couple of days. I hope you enjoyed yourself. If you did, let me know. If there's anywhere you'd like to see me fly, also in the comments let me know. That's how I usually pick where I'm going to go, by the way. I look at the comments before I start a video, and then I base my video based upon who has said who has said that airfield, and it's been mentioned the most. Hence why the last video was from Jamaica, because there was a lot of people requesting Jamaica. So if a lot of people request, I don't know, the North Pole, then the North Pole it is. Anyway, please don't do that, because there's actually no airport there. So there we go. Okay, until the next video, which will be part 2 of this, I bid you farewell. Thank you very much, and take care. Bye bye.